A look at the starting lineups. Both clubs going the same way that they have these last few weeks. Now, the last time the Lakers lost a game, it was back on April the 1st. Since then, they've won 14 in a row, the last 8 of the regular season, and 6 straight in the playoffs. Jack Neese to toss, working with Terry Durham and Joe DeRosa, and the Kings control the opening tip. Jason Williams, in particular, has been silent in this series. Fires for 3, and the rebound is handled by Horace Grant.
I just think it's so vital for them not to miss 5-6 shots, turn the ball over, and take this crowd out of it. They have got to get off to a great start, get some defensive stops, and run. That's what they do in this building.
There's Derek Fisher. Lonnie Devos, another one of the Sacramento starters who has been very quiet. Pedro Stojakovic able to beat Rick Fox, but he was picked up on the switch. And here's Weber's first attempt. Well, a slow start for the Sacramento Kings.
That was a good shot, though. Wide open shot, good passing, good ball movement. When they've gotten themselves in trouble, Marv, they played one-on-one and stood around.
Devos able to step in front of Shaq to knock it away with 8 on the 24.
Well, they did a much better job on Shaq in Game 3. He had 87 points in the 2 games combined in the Staples Center. They go up 2-0. They hold him to 21, only 2 field goals in Game 3. But Kobe, 36 points. He had 7 shots late in that game to break it open.
And here is Kobe Bryant. And there is the first field goal of the game. Kobe Bryant with 26 of his 36 in the second half in Game 3 on Friday night. Stojakovic. Weber passing up on a couple of opportunities. Doug Christie. And a foul is called.
Now, Kobe does not want to do that. When you are struggling from the floor, as is Doug Christie, in this series, 8 of 31, shooting 26%. You do not want to foul him. Phil Jackson knows that. You see him sort of drop his head. And, you know, Marva talked to Phil before the game, you and I did, and he said, you know, Doug, my biggest concern is we really have not been tested yet in this playoffs. Last year in the playoffs, remember we won 2-0, went up 2-0 against Sacramento, came in here, lost twice, had to win a Game 5. We struggled to try to close out Phoenix. Portland took us to the wire. Indiana. So early in the playoffs last year, they were tested early. He knew what his team was about. He has not seen that yet this year.
And you can see that Phil is protecting himself from the clanking of the cowbells, wearing the earplugs, as he did here on Friday night. Phil, not one of the more popular visiting coaches here at Arco Arena. Some statements made last year and then again this season regarding this area. Derek Fisher, yes.
Now, Mark, don't be alarmed if you see Shaq not involved here in the first quarter. It's by design. They did the same thing in Game 3. They thought that they had lost some of their supporting players. They weren't confident. So Shaq is not going to be very aggressive here early. They're going to try to get the other players involved.
Stojakovic, boy, they make him work hard. Rick Fox has done a sensational defensive job on Pedro Stojakovic. Bryant off the pick. Shaq set it up. Kobe able to hit. And the Lakers now lead by the score of 6-3. Rick Adelman was saying that Rick Fox has picked up Pedro Stojakovic in the locker room. And that's been the case over the first 3 games of the series. He also admires the fact that Fox has not paid as much attention to other aspects of his game. He's strictly concentrating on stifling Stojakovic.
Well, to back that up, he's 9 of 23 for 39% in this series. And here is Derek Fisher. Now, this guy struggled mightily. He's played so well. But in this playoff series, he has not shot the basketball well. 11 of 31.
Aggressive play by Fox, knocks it away. It'll be Sacramento ball. So much for the quick start by the Kings. They're trailing here 8-3. We've played 3 minutes of the first.
We have not seen one fast break, and that's what happens. You get in a half-court game. Now look at them stand, and that's where they get themselves in trouble. Steal by Kobe.
Kobe Bryant off the steal with a 3-on-2 and puts it away. That's a 10-3 Laker advantage, and Kobe has come out strong. Now Kobe left the Lakers following the game on Friday night because of what were termed personal matters back in Los Angeles. He trotted back here, and there was a question as to how he would react. Does not seem to be his same bubbly self when we were talking to him earlier, but Kobe has come out strong.
I did speak to him. Now, this is what they need to do right here. Get a layup.
And that's just what Christie does. Doug Christie cuts it to a 10-5 Laker lead.
But along with Kobe, I spoke to him this morning, and he said, Doug, my wife was not feeling well. I went back to see her. She's feeling much better, and I'm back. So that's good news for Kobe. That's why he went home.
And the ball back to Sacramento.
You got to force turnovers. And in this series, any turnover, you've got to run. You've got to get early shots. Mark, when Sacramento gets themselves in trouble, they get into a half-court game. They stand, they pound the ball, they shoot jump shots. They get nothing to the front of the basket.
Divac with the rebound. Divac working his way against O'Neal. Oh, good play by Weber. So Sacramento maintains possession. This crowd has been deafening here at the start, despite the fact the Kings just 1 of 8 from the field.
And that one was a breakaway layup by Christie off a steal. So, again, 0 for 7 when they've had to come down and set up against the defense of the Lakers. And, Marv, if the Lakers had a weakness early in the year, their defense was not good. They were soft. They weren't aggressive. Kobe and Shaq did not play at the level they played at last year. Well, that's not the case now. They are playing terrific.
Some hesitation by Weber leading to this. And Fisher is fouled by Stojakovic.
Well, you can just see the body language of Chris Webber. He is so upset with himself right now. That's twice that he has been isolated over there, and twice he has turned the ball over. Kobe came in from behind the first time and steals it. This time it's Fisher. Both have resulted in one in the jumper by Kobe. This one in 2 free throws by Fisher.
Derek Fisher, who has come back so strong from that stress fracture in his right foot. Watched the first 62 games from the Lakers bench. And said that he put in extra time in the gym. You know, people are amazed that suddenly Derek Fisher's jump shot has come such a long way. But he was there all hours during the course of his recovery period. And he is now an outside threat, more so than in the past. Coach Christie for Sacramento. It's a 12-7 Laker lead.
If you want to put the work in, you can improve as a shooter. And Fisher has done that. He also has fresh legs now, which is vital. He did not have to play an 82-game season. Right now, he's at his peak physically.
Strange how that can work. In other cases, guys say, hey, I was rusty because I was not playing. But in Fisher's case, it has helped. Christie with the save. Doug Christie with all 7 Sacramento points. Jason Williams facing Horace Grant, and the foul is called. And suddenly there are signs of a spark for the Sacramento Kings.
They thrive off of this crowd, and Jason Williams, through all of his turnovers and a lot of things, ill-advised shots, this team still needs him to be aggressive. When he makes plays like this, the crowd gets involved, he gets his teammates free throws, and they got to get to the line so now they can get back and get their defense set up to be able to guard against Shaq and Kobe. All these things play into Sacramento being able to play well.
Vlade Divac began the season slowly, then came on an all-star for the first time in his career. And then tailed off in this 3-game playoff series. People asking what has happened to Vlade Divac in terms of aggressive play against Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq does that to every big guy. You play him on the defensive end, he bangs you, he pounds you. Pretty soon you have no legs. You're out there like a heavyweight fighter just trying to stand up.
Fox for Fisher. And Stojakovic with the box out. Weber. And the Kings get the new 24. Here's Jason Williams. The game is tied at 12.
He's such a barometer for this team because if he can play some good minutes, now you can bring Bobby Jackson in and bring in some strength. If he's not playing well, you're substituting for the wrong reason.
A 3 by Williams ties the game. It's a 7-0 run for Sacramento. And the offense offensive foul is called on O'Neal.
Well, you know that Rick Adelman has to like that. He says, you know what, Doug, there's not been 1 3-second call. We have not had any offensive fouls in the lane where Shaq dislodging. He backs himself into Vlade. Positive sign there. Rick Adelman has to like that.
Weber stripped by Bryant. Recovered by Christie. Weber.
Chris really struggling here to get started. I don't know if he's putting too much pressure on himself, you know, to have a big game here today, Mark, but he's got to calm himself down. He's taking tough shots. He's turned the ball over. Just relax. But Jason Williams, the energy man of this team, bangs in a 3. We have a tie game, 5:54 to go here in the first period.
Back to Sacramento, and Doug, the last time the Lakers actually lost a game was April Fool's Day, as it turned out, April the 1st, and since then they've been on an incredible run. 14 straight wins the last 8 of the regular season, 6 for 6 in the playoffs, and as the Sacramento Kings have discovered, the combination of Shaq and Kobe have been just unstoppable.
Well, Marv, everything is broken just right for the Lakers. Remember, Kobe had the foot injury. He came back. Now he and Shaq have been so dominant. Now look at this, 87 points in the first 2 games for Shaq. Phil Jackson was worried. I'm concerned we're losing our support guys, so all of a sudden they go away from Shaq. Kobe, a big 36-point game, but look what these two guys have done. 200 of the 307 Laker points. Shaq, in this period, has not attempted a shot or whatever, but Phil knows that he'll work himself into the game. He needs Fisher, Fox, Horace Grant, these other guys to be able to make some shots.
At the other end, Chris Webber 0 for his first 4. There's an attempted lob. And then Shaq stripped, last touch by Stojakovic.
You know, I'd say I give Shaq a lot of credit for a guy who had 87 points in those 2 games and knew they couldn't stop him. To listen to Phil and say, Phil, you know, we need you to do this, Shaq, for us to get these other guys involved. And you know what? Shaq is a winner. He'll do that.
And as we have seen, he is an excellent passer. That time he got it back out to Kobe off the double. And Kobe Bryant, 4 for 5 for 8 points.
The Lakers' perimeter shooting has been very poor in this series, and that's why, you know, you've got to get those guys involved. Kobe now off to a great start.
Jason Williams coming up short on his second 3-point attempt. Williams trying to turn it from the 1 for 6 here on Friday night in Game 3. Bryant around Christie. Facial served up on Vlade Divac.
Well, Kobe really attacked. Now, Doug Christie's second-team all-defense, so this guy's no slouch out there defensively. But Kobe's got him sized up right now and is going exactly where he wants to go on the floor.
Weber, yes. Chris Weber with his first field goal.
If you're Horace Grant, you're saying, you know what, I can live with that. Keep him on the perimeter, shooting jump shots. In Game 1, he shot 14 free throws. Since then, he is not getting to the free throw line, and that's exactly what the Lakers want him to do, shoot those jumpers.
Fisher with the head fake. Oh, able to beat Jason Williams off the dribble.
Too easy.
18-14. Lakers with the lead. One time, Los Angeles Laker. Doug Christie working on Kobe Bryant. Horace Grant with the rebound. Horace Grant did a nice job in Game 2 against Chris Webber. Horace has been so solid since the All-Star break. Here's Shaq. Fouled, although Vlade Divac got the worst of that one.
Kobe Bryant in the open floor, the great crossover. There's no help. You've got to get the ball out of his hands. You know, Mark, that's the one thing. These two great stars, you've got to make them pass. Weber steps out on the floor. Horace Grant gives him a little space. He makes the jump shot. So that's exactly what Horace wants to have happen. Keep shooting that jump shot. Stay away from the basket. Stay off that foul line.
Well, Shaq hits on his first free throw, and he is dipped in that department, just 5 for 14 in Game 3, 54% of the playoffs after he had reached 62% after the All-Star break. Lakers 20 and the Kings 14. We're just under 4 to go in this first quarter. Game 4 of the best of 7. Sacramento hoping to extend to a 5th game. The Lakers would love to sweep them and rest up to wait for the Western Conference Final Series. Traveling violation is called, so the ball will go back to Los Angeles.
When we spoke to Rick Adelman before the game, Mark, one thing he talked about is, you know what, Doug, we're getting no movement at all. We're dribbling so much, we're getting against the clock, we're shooting jump shots, and here they are once again. Nobody passing and cutting and moving. One guy handling the basketball, and that's where they get themselves in trouble with the Lakers. The Lakers will close that down.
Shaq coming up short. He'll say, well, it was an assist.
Yeah, he looked over and said, pass us.
But that was a shot that went short, and Kobe now has 12 points. Weber, yes. So that's his second field goal. Weber missed his first 4 shots. He's hit 2 in a row. Lakers lead it 22-16. Able to field that pass. And Devon's not able to hold on. Now a timeout is called. 2:43 remaining in the first. Lakers up by 6. Wherever Chris Webber has gone this season, he has faced the question, where is he headed next year? Webber, a free agent, a much sought-after free agent. And in the Sacramento Bee today, Chris was certainly all over the newspaper. Some of the columnists indicating that they feel that Chris Webber is gone, that these will be his final games as a member of the Sacramento Kings. We talked about this with Chris.
People have to understand, first of all, that when I first came here, it was not my choice, and that from that point on, I had to find ways to motivate myself to be in a situation where I didn't choose, and that I had to find motivating factors, whether it was believing that I wasn't a good enough player, whether it was believing that people didn't like me, whatever. And I have to take the summer to kind of get away from all those negative thoughts and clear my mind and just pray for the right answer to come. I know people think it's more difficult than that. I got a war room at home. We're all writing down teams and passing ballots around, but it's really not like that. It's really just I listen to people's advice. I'm definitely going to listen to my mother and father, but they don't have to live with it. It's my decision, and I'll just wait for it to come.
Well, Doug, it's difficult to believe that he actually hasn't thought about what teams he might be headed to.
Well, he's thought about it. I mean, I think the one thing he needs to do is just play here today and find a way to win a game in this series. But you cannot be in this position and not start thinking about what you want to do for your future. Your mind starts working ahead. I mean, he was very candid. He said, you know what, I've spoken to Tim Duncan. I've spoken to Shaq. One left, one stayed. I'm trying to get the feeling about what I want to do, and then I'll make that decision. But you got to play here today. This is big. These fans have been ultra supportive. Chris Webber has been great here. 3 great years. One left, one stayed. I'm trying to get the feeling about what I want to do, and then I'll make that decision. But you got to play here today. This is big. These fans have been ultra supportive. Chris Webber has been great here. 3 great years. Sure that the taste that if he leaves is a great one, that this young guy came in and revitalized his franchise, and then they hope he stays. But today is a big day for him.
All right, Stojakovic on the stuff. So the Lakers now lead 24-18.
Now, when you're struggling from the field, shooting a lot of jump shots, get to that line. Just get the feel of the ball going in the basket. Get a little confidence.
A minute 45 remaining. And the first quarter, bad pass. Now Webber posting on Grant. Backdoor pass attempted for Stojakovic, who is pushed. So the foul is called. Foul is on Fox. That's his second. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Mark, thank you. Just want to follow up on the Chris Webber situation. I spoke to him after we did the interview. He said in the first place he really didn't want to come here, and he resented it. He's now put in 3 years. He says it's a dilemma for me because I've learned to like it. But the bottom line is, he said, is I want to win a championship. He'll decide over the course of the summer. But, Mark, the information that I have is it is highly unlikely, in fact, almost virtually certain, that Chris Webber will not return here. He won't go on the record and say that. In fact, he has avoided it all year, but the information is that this will be Chris Webber's last game or last series should they lose. Mark?
I can certainly understand from a diplomatic point of view of Chris trying not to say anything, and that's exactly what he's done.
Well, you can't say anything. You're still on this team. I mean, you know, the season's not over yet. You got to play. You got to play to win. And then when it's all said and done, then you make your decision. That's what Chris has got to do.
Sacramento within 4, just under 1 minute remaining of this first quarter. And that will be a palming violation called on Jason Williams.
Well, we have seen that play very seldom this season because of the calling it about 2 years ago. They really made it a source of concern for guys getting their hand on underneath the ball and turning that ball over, and we saw it from Jason Williams on that play.
Off the steal, it's a 3-on-1. Stojakovic able to finish.
That's 2 layups for him now. Let's see if that helps to him free up that jump shot.
A 2-point Laker lead. Derek Fisher. So 6 unanswered by Sacramento, ended by the jumper by Fisher. An offensive foul is called. It's on Weber. And he is hit with a technical foul by Joe DeRosa.
There's the frustration you see in Chris Webber, very upset. Now what happened on that play? Webber rolled to the basket and Fisher was trying to go underneath to catch up to his man, and when Webber rolled, he buried Fisher on the screen. Watch this now, going under the screen, and there's Webber. Fisher does a great job of just running into the screen and falling down and looking up at the official saying, look, he moved on his pick and he got the call.
Kobe Bryant converts the technical, and the Lakers now lead 27-22.
Now, the one thing, Chris Webber cannot get ejected today. He cannot do that. He's got 1 technical. He has to stay in this game.
I'm surprised teammates did not rush over quicker to restrain Chris, who continued the discussion with the official, Joe DeRosa. Robert Horry has checked in for the first time. Now Bobby Jackson has come on, so the Kings have a backcourt of Jackson and Williams. Stojakovic up front with Weber and Christie in for the first time. Now Bobby Jackson has come on, so the Kings have a backcourt of Jackson and Williams. Stojakovic up front with Weber and Christie. Brian Shaw in the backcourt with Derek Fisher. Kobe now at a small forward position. Shot clock at 3. Shaw has to fire. Tipped by Bryant. And it's a 24-second violation.
That's really a break for Sacramento. The ball was going to go out of bounds. The horn was going to expire. Now you can throw a long pass and maybe get a shot off, maybe a foul. So that's a break for Sacramento. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
1 second remaining. Jump ball was actually tossed by Jason Williams, hoping that Chris Webber might be able to get to it. So that's the end of the first quarter. The Lakers led by Kobe with 13. In effect, he has scored 39 points in his last 3 quarters against the Kings. It's the Lakers up 27-22. You are watching the NBA playoffs.
I'm Jim Gray. As we get ready for the second quarter, we're talking about Chris Webber and whether or not today might be his last day here in Sacramento. We're now joined on Mother's Day by his father, Macy Webber. Macy, what has Chris said to you about the possibility of this being his last day here and in staying in Sacramento?
He just talked about the fans and how great they are, and there's none like them in the NBA, how loyal they are, and this is a great place, but in the final analysis, I want him to make the final decision.
What is it that you will recommend to him to help him make that decision?
Number one, I recommend him, let him know that the owners are great owners, and they're loyal owners, and they're just average people, and they are great fans, and this is a great place for them to be.
Do you have a feeling one way or another? Is it your feeling that this, in all likelihood, will be Chris's last day here?
I wouldn't say that. I'm hoping he stay here, but he's a man now. He can make his own decision, so I hope the decision will be here, but otherwise it's all right with me.
Why would that be your hope?
Because I like the management here, I like the fans here, I like this community.
Chris said before the game that he will take your input. He's taken some input from Shaquille O'Neal and from Tim Duncan. Do you know exactly what it is that they have told him?
Well, I'll let him know my final decision after the end of the game. You know, after today's game, I'll sit down and talk to him, and he knew how I feel.
Mr. Weber, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, Marv, back to you.
All right, Jim trying every conceivable angle. Macy would not give it up. Second quarter is underway, and Shaq with his first field goal.
Well, Kobe and Derek Fisher had 23 of the 27. Now look for Kobe to start getting him, for Shaquille O'Neal to start going to work inside here in the second period.
29-22. Lakers on top. Stojakovic. Well, as you indicated, Doug, a couple of breakaway layups. And it's really amazing how that can help a shooter get into his rhythm. And Stojakovic comes right back with a three. Scott Pollard just checked in, takes the facial from Shaq after he stripped him.
How about if you're Scott Pollard now? Vladdy's played him the whole half. He said, you know what, I don't think I'm going to score. Now Pollard comes in, he's going to try to punish him.
Stojakovic not able to hit. Weber came up short. He thought he was fouled, and now the foul is called. That's two on O'Neal.
There's no answer for this. Once Shaquille O'Neal gets the ball there, you either better grab him, and if you grab him, better have both arms, and you better hold on tight. And then on the other end, the inside position by Chris Webber, he tries to sort of little flip shot up there. Shaq hits him in the head, and now Webber goes to the line for two. But look for Shaquille O'Neal now to go to work in that post.
Erratic start to Chris Webber. 2 of 8 from the field. He's turned it over 3 times. He's been hit with a technical foul.
And his game has been under such a microscope. We talked about the MVP early in the year. He hurt his ankle, missed about 10 games, came back, a little out of shape, worked to get himself back in shape. And since that point in time, since he's hurt his ankle, Mark, they have had this young guy under surveillance. Everything he's done, his body language, everything, trying to find out, is he staying or isn't he going? It's been a tough ride for him the last couple months.
Here's Ori popping it out. No one in sight. It will be Sacramento ball. You know, you look at Webber, Doug, at times he still appears to be hobbling after recovering from the 2 ankle sprains. And the problem has been that he settles for too many jumpers and has not shot the ball well, just 35% in the series against Phoenix. Oh, here's Stojakovic.
Well, Phil Jackson cannot like that, and the Sacramento fans love that. Vlade Divac, his teammate. Way to be aggressive, way to take that ball to the basket.
O'Neal. So Shaq becoming more active. Shaquille in game 1, 44 points, 21 rebounds, 7 block shots. Game 2, 43 and 20. Bit more low-key in game 3 on Friday night as Kobe took over. Stojakovic. Webber keeping it alive. Overshooting on the layup. He was looking for contact, but yet another opportunity, and you saw Webber thought that he was hacked.
Well, he's got to be careful now. He's got one technical. He's got to stay here with his teammates today. They desperately need him.
Shaq is fouled by Pollard.
Chris Webber working so hard for this field goal. Getting inside, you feel the frustration. He tips the ball at the basket. Looks like he's got a layup. Overshoots it. Does not give up on the play. Stojakovic misses. Finally, Webber gets it in the basket. Looks over the fence. I've been hit on my arm. Get me on the foul line.
O'Neal hitting on his first 2. As we mentioned earlier, just 5 of 14 at the line in game 3.
Sacramento actually used the hack-a-shack a little bit at the end of game 3, Marv, when they fouled him 3 consecutive times away from the ball. He missed 5 of the 6 free throws. Got his own miss back, though, and then it scored on a breakaway, so they could not close the gap simply because they couldn't score.
Careless play. And the Lakers get it back. Phil Jackson now has Brian Shaw and Derek Fisher in the backcourt. Shaquille O'Neal, Robert Horry, and Kobe Bryant up front. Broken up by Preston. Jackson draws the foul. Not a pretty fast break. The Kings will take it, though. And the end result, Jackson heads to the line.
Sacramento reminds me so much of Dallas. They're teams that when they run, they're exciting. They play loose. They shoot. They put up over 100 points a game. But when they miss shots, it's like you take the life out of them, and it affects every phase of their game. And Mark, any surge that we have seen here has all been with their running game. Stojakovic getting a layup, Christie getting a layup, Bobby Jackson getting to the foul line. The Lakers ran with them at home, and they've slowed them down here and said, you're going to play a half-court game here.
And using the comparison with the Dallas Mavericks, Phil Jackson, who watched the San Antonio-Dallas game yesterday, fearing that the same could take place here today. Although he said you have to respect what San Antonio did, coming back from 17 down. Kobe Bryant going glass. There's Stojakovic with Fisher. Oh, boy, with a nice play. Fisher played on the switch by Stojakovic. O'Neal. Pollard able to sweep. Jackson. Rejected by O'Neal. He tried to hand it back. Jackson out of bounds. And then,
where is he?
That's not a good thing for Bobby Jackson.
Where did Bobby Jackson go?
Swallowed up by Shaq. And a timeout is taken. A play of amusement to Shaquille O'Neal, not to Bobby Jackson.
Marv, as we look at Shaquille O'Neal, they have gone to him, as we talked about in the second quarter, all the 7 points. But it's been an interesting year for Shaq. Phil Jackson, after the monster season he had last year, said, you know, I want you to rest in the offseason. He was the MVP and everything. He came back. He's a little out of shape, got off to a slow start, was a little heavy. Since the All-Star break, he's worked himself back into shape, and I think he's playing better basketball this year at this time than he did last year.
Rick Adelman made that point earlier, said he feels Shaq is even more patient when he gets the basketball and is looking more for teammates. Ito Turkoglu has come on for the first time for Sacramento, and Doug Christie knocks down a three. Doug Christie has been very quiet at the offensive end over the first 3 games with 10 points now in the first half, and he's tied the game at 34.
Well, you've got to make Kobe work on defense, so Christie is vital.
Bobby Jackson going for the fake. Call for the foul.
You can see the Lakers are playing off of him. They know he's a slasher. He's a cutter. So Kobe is keeping him in front of him and saying, you know what, I'll live with his jump shot if he knocks it down. Christie buries the 3, ties the game. Lakers sideline out of bounds with a new 14 on the clock.
Fisher and Bryant in the backcourt. O'Neal up front now with Horry and Fox. They double up on shot. Rejected, but that's a goal tag. Well, Doug Christie very active, rejecting Shaquille O'Neal, but the basket will count.
Again, when he gets it that deep, you're in trouble. It's either a foul or a score. And what the Lakers have done in this series to make it so hard on Sacramento is Shaq is catching the ball so close to the basket, they can't double or triple team him. He's already shot the ball before the defense gets there.
Shaquille O'Neal with all 9 Laker points in this second quarter. Who has turned it in this series against the Lakers after the horrendous shooting, lost his touch in the first round against Phoenix. He actually missed 14 of 15 shots against the Suns.
He's actually been their best perimeter player in this series.
Rick Fox struck. Good play by Turkoglu. Jackson for 3. And the Kings have turned it around. They've come from behind. They now lead at 39 to 46.
Early offense. That's when they are at their best.
An 11-3 run for Sacramento. Here's Fisher for 3. And the game is tied at 39. And Derek Fisher has had a big first half. 13 for Fisher. Nice ball movement. Jackson from the other side.
See, but you got to force them to shoot some jump shots. Speaking of the Lakers, Mark, they're 23% in this series. You got to take the ball out of Kobe and Shaq's hands. Make some of those other guys shoot the ball.
Just just under 6 remaining in this first half. Now single coverage on Shaq, goes right at Pollard, and another goal attempt.
Why? That ball was not going to go in. I mean, I'm not saying it on the referee's part, but Chris Webber should have left that ball alone. It was going to hit the front of the rim, and now you give Shaq back-to-back baskets off goaltends. That ball is going to come up short. It's going to hit the right side of the rim. It's a good call. It was goaltending. Chris got to leave that alone.
Shaq has 13 points. Lakers up by 2. Offensive foul. Webber nearly slammed the ball to the floor. And we remind you, he does have one technical foul that was called earlier. That's the 4th turnover committed by Chris Webber. We'll be back in a moment. Lakers have a 2-point lead.
Right back at the Arco Arena, Chris Webber just picked up his 2nd foul on the offensive end right there. And right at the end of the play, a real nice gesture by Kobe Bryant telling him, don't throw the ball, don't throw it at the officials, stay in the game. We want you to be out here on the court. Don't lose your cool. A real good show of sportsmanship right there by Kobe Bryant. Chris Webber already picking up one technical foul earlier in the game. Marv?
All right, thank you, Jim. Yes, a very gracious gesture. I don't think there are many players that would have handled that in the same manner.
Or coaches who would have encouraged their guy to keep the other team. Star player like, get out of here. I don't want him around. I'll talk to him after the game.
41-39, Lakers with the lead, just under 5.5 remaining. In this first half, Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Jim Gray from Arco in Sacramento. Lakers trying to make it a 4-game sweep. The Kings trying to hang around, looking to extend to a Game 5. And Kobe Bryant has been on fire. 7 of 11. He has 15 points.
Well, they have 43 points, and Fisher and Kobe and Shaq have 41 of them. So those 3 guys are carrying the entire offensive load.
Here's Webber over Ori. Shaq took a shot right on the bridge of the nose. The Los Angeles Lakers went 56-26 during the regular season. 2nd seed in the West. They finished 2 games behind San Antonio. They finished up by winning their last 8. They swept through the playoffs, taking 6 out of 6. Shot clock running down, and Ori able to hit. The Lakers with a 10-0 run, a 3 for Ori. They now lead 46-39. Jackson trying to get it inside. He does to Webber, who's now being guarded by Ori. And Chris Webber not able to find the touch. Last touch by the Lakers. Webber now 3 for 14 from the field.
That was a good move there. He got a little point-blank jump hook in the lane. Phil Jackson looking on the sideline, but a little jump hook in the lane. And then Vlade goes down in sort of a chain reaction. Then Ori goes down. They knock Shaq down. He falls out of bounds with the basketball. So fortunate break there for Sacramento. They'll get it back.
And the Kings have the full 24. You keep hearing cowbells, or am I just...
No. We are the thing. Let's thank Phil for that.
Phil wearing the earplugs. Rick Fox saying that he likes it. He's accustomed to cowbells because of popular music that he used to listen to growing up in the Bahamas. Torkalo. He says that music used a lot of cowbells. Sure, a likely story. 46-41. Lakers in front. 3:50 to go in this first half. Once again, the Kings going to the double. And a bad pass. Ori thought Fox was cutting to the baseline. Torkalo is open for 3. He is 3 for 3 from the field. 7 points. And the Kings are within 2.
Well, they have now responded after the Laker run. They have answered. They've got a couple defensive stops, been able to score. And again, once that ball goes in the basket, Sacramento gets excited.
Brian Shaw. Hito Torkalo with another good hustle. Brian leads the break. Jackson trying to get it to Stojakovic. And that slows it down. Stojakovic out of control. Fox got a piece of it.
Well, Fox is everywhere right now. He's like Velcro to him. He's just contesting everything.
There's Torkalo. Beautiful pass to Webber. And a foul. And Hito Torkalo, the first-round draft pick by way of Istanbul, Turkey,
his feet together, buries the three. Sacramento answering the Laker run. They now trail by only 2.
Back to Sacramento. This is the finale of our NBA doubleheader on NBC. And coming up, net zero at the half. Ahmad, PJ, and Kevin with a look back at this first half. And a review of what took place earlier today. Charlotte knocking off Milwaukee to tie that series at 2. Jamal Mashburn with 36 points. In Game 3, comes back with 31. And Philadelphia defeats Toronto 84-79. Evens that series at 2 apiece. Allen Iverson had 30, but the 10 of 30 from the field. And Vince Carter slumping, went from 50 to 25. Vince 8 for 27. Dikembe Mutombo had 17 rebounds.
Well, how about Allen Iverson, though? Toronto got that back to 78 all. Shot clock winding down. He buries a big 3, so shoots 10 of 30, but it's the big 3. Really was the game winner to get his team back into that series at 2-2.
And the Sacramento Kings are back in this one. We're tied at 46. Lakers have led virtually all the way. Kings had a lead briefly in the early moments. We're down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the first half. Kings with 7 unanswered points. Shot clock at 6. Fisher. And a foul is called.
See, Derek Fisher is so strong. Bobby Jackson, both of these guys, very physical guards, and he just muscled that ball up after he got the contact. That's a bad foul by Bobby Jackson. 4th shot against the clock.
Bobby talking with the official, Terry Durham, after picking up his second. Came on from that man, Jason Williams, who hit 1 of 3, a three-pointer. You can log on to NBA.com following each playoff game for live coverage of the post-game press conferences and send in your questions to the NBA.com commentators, including the Lakers, Robert Horry. It's all at NBA.com. Lakers with a 2-point lead. Jackson working on Fisher. Weber setting the pick. Jackson. And Weber able to get to it.
Should be a new shot clock. They finally reset it.
Very slow in going to the reset. And as a result, play is stopped. And now they will reset it at 22. Bill Christie over the scorer's table thinking that he could come on, but he's way back. Stojakovic, Divac, and Weber on the front line for the Kings. A desperation game for Sacramento. Down in this series, 3 games to nothing. They'd love to send it back to Los Angeles for a 5th game.
Look at Shaq jump out and force a tough shot that Stojakovic buries. They have so much respect for him. And Shaq out there, just a better offensive play by Peja.
Difficult off-angle shot along the baseline by Peja and Stojakovic to tie the game at 48. Illegal defense called for the first time against the Kings.
Well, that was done on purpose by Phil, just a little set. Normally doesn't do that, but look at Shaq trying to take away that catch and shoot. Quick come off the screen by Stojakovic. Put it on the floor, makes a nice play. That's a tough shot on that baseline.
Fox, the rare open look for Rick Fox in this first half. Divac. Lonnie Divac has given the Kings a 50-48 lead.
Chris Webber's getting help today. The rest of his teammates shooting 15 of 28. He is only 3 of 14. More importantly, they're up by 2.
First time they've led since they were in front 3-2 in the opening minutes. Off the bubble, Shaq gets inside. Won't count. And the foul is called.
Take a look at Shaq's right elbow right there. Little arm, little push. Boy, for all the banging, all that goes on, Shaq says, where did that come from? But he's a guy who throws himself around in there. The Kings would like to see more of that. That was sort of a touch foul there.
And Shaquille will sit down as he picks up his 3rd. So 3 personals on Shaquille O'Neal. Replaced by Horace Grant. Divac. Weber. The Kings lead by 4 with a minute remaining in the half. piece of it. And they'll jump it up. Oh, and Divac and Bryant are having words.
Well, Kobe was very upset. He was on the floor, and Vlade fell very hard on top of him. I think Kobe felt like he was going to get his shoulder injured or something when Divac fell on him. Watch this down, Marv. They're going to be for a loose ball. It's great hustle. They go down. Kobe's in a very vulnerable position there. You see him fall on his right shoulder. Kobe pulls his arm out of there. Does not want to hurt that shooting arm, and then they have words.
And Kobe's still playing with that sore left hip since the playoff opener against the Portland Trail Blazers. Trying to beat LA from this capacity crowd here at Arco Arena. 83rd consecutive shutout in Sacramento. Stojakovic takes it all the way. It will count. It's a goal kick.
That was a great pass by Chris Webber and a great catch by Stojakovic. And Marv, again, here's a guy now struggling to score with the defense of Rick Fox. And these are the kind of baskets that you got to get. That's 3 layups that he's gotten today. Great pass by Webber.
Bryant. And he draws the foul. Kobe going 1-on-3. But picked up the foul on Divac. Over the last 3.5 minutes, Sacramento has taken over a 15-2 run for the King.
Well, when Shaq sits down, Kobe has got to be the guy that takes on to this offense and creates for others. You know he's going to throw himself in there and get fouled. He takes a lot of tough falls. Steps up and calmly knocks in the free throw.
22nd timeout being called by Rick Adelman with 35 seconds to go in the half. Sacramento Kings with a 54-49 lead on the Los Angeles Lakers. 35 seconds to go in this first half, and Kobe Bryant makes his way back to the foul line. He and Hedo Turkoglu now having some words. Now, Kobe does speak many languages. I don't know if Turkish is within the repertoire.
Well, he's a guy that will talk. He doesn't mind getting involved. I read a lot of articles on him, and he says, I'll give it back. I don't have a problem with that. Let's see if Sacramento tries to get a quick shot here to go 2 for 1.
Down to a half minute remaining in the first half. Here's Turkoglu. Webber open. Yes. Good-looking stroke that time by Webber, who's just 5 for 16. He does have 13 points, 6-point Sacramento lead. And now 15. Oh, look out. Trouble with the midcourt. It was very close to a backcourt violation.
I think Jackie D said that Doug Christie touched the ball.
Kobe taking it to the rim. Oh, what a spectacular shot by Kobe Bryant, and the foul.
And Shaq loves it, but the thing I have a problem with that is Kobe, you know, is going to try to break your defense down. Why don't you double him and force him to pass it? He comes all the way from the half court, breaks your defense down. You get a reach in by Hedo, and the touch foul, an opportunity for a 3-point play. Mark, when these guys are throwing up 67, 70 points against you, Shaq is sitting down. You got to make him pass the ball. You can't let him drive in or get a 3-point play like that.
Kobe gunning for his 20th point. Completes the 3-point play. Kobe Bryant with 46 points the last 4 quarters of play. Reaching foul.
Chris Webber was very lucky there. Had Robert Horry stood his ground, Webber would either walked or got an offensive foul. See, Webber does not see the defense. Watch as he starts to go, and if Horry would have stepped up, he could have got a foul on that play. As it was, the Lakers had a foul to give. It'll be sideline out of bounds.
Down to 5 4/10 seconds to go in this first half. Stojakovic will inbound. Time running down. There's Turkoglu firing one.
Hedo's having some fun. He's at one pressure. We're only playing the Lakers. We're only facing an elimination game. It's 3-0. I'm hot. I'm going to keep shooting.
Turkoglu 4 for 4 from the field, including 2 3-pointers. This one with time running out of the first half.
That's a huge shot. You go in on a high. You're now up 6. You're making some shots. Hedo came off the bench. What a big lift he gave his team as they go in now with a real high, thinking they have a great chance now, Mark, to win this game. A lot of positive signs for Sacramento. 59 points in the first half.
As the Lakers set up in the front court, let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, Marv, I spoke to Kobe Bryant at halftime. He said this is absolutely the most fun he has had in the playoffs all year and possibly the entire year. I asked him why. He says, because we have not been down in a game in the playoffs. It's the ultimate challenge. I love it. I'm having so much fun. I just can't wait to keep playing. Marv?
All right, thanks, Jim. As you say that, Kobe is rejected.
Over 3 on that possession.
Kobe's having fun. He's taking 15 shots. Another rejection by Divac.
You think he's still having fun?
And Christie sets it for the 3.
Timely Jim Gray on that play, Russ.
Doug taking a shot. Excellent. Getting a little testy here.
Oh, there's what they got to be concerned about, though, because they have no answer for him. We've already talked about the first 2 games in the Staples Center, 87 points in the 2 games. They have got to get the ball out of his hands, get him out of that lane.
15 points for Shaquille O'Neal. And Vlade Divac with the open shot.
Good shooting, Marv, is so contagious, as is bad shooting. And for Sacramento, you can see it in their body language. They finally got some bounce in their step here today.
And one of the key points in the first half, 21 assists on 22 field goals. Derek Fisher from downtown. That's his second 3, and Derek Fisher with 18 points.
That's not a good shot. You know, Jason Williams comes down, didn't play much in the second period. First time he touched it, he lets it go.
Kobe Bryant having difficulties with the shot here at the start of the 3rd quarter. 64-58. Sacramento with the lead, looking to send it back to Los Angeles for Game 5 on Tuesday night. Stojakovic with the step-back jumper, and he has not been able to succeed in this series with that move against Rick Fox.
Oh, what a tough shot. Fox was all over and just faded it, got distance, knocked it down.
8-point Sacramento advantage. Fox lost it, but a reach-in foul called on the Kings.
Stojakovic loves to go to his left and then shoot that ball fading away. What a difficult shot. The great rotation. And when this guy gets hot, he's one of the most fun guys in the league to watch. That shooting. Remember when Larry Bird used to get hot and put on a shooting demonstration, how beautiful it was. Stojakovic, when he shoots it like that, what a fun guy to watch play.
Divac trying to slap it away. Another possession for the Lakers. Here's the double. On shot. Fox. Rick Fox going to the left hand. Only his second field goal. It's a 6-point lead for the Kings. And Stojakovic lost it. In the first half, the Lakers shot 57%, 20 for 35, and yet were down by 6 because the Kings were able to hit from downtown. 6 of 9 from 3-point land. They were 1 for 14 in game number 3.
Also, too, Mark, they had 21 points off 13 Laker turnovers, which means they were running.
Fisher. Kobe is fouled. Fouled by Christie. So Kobe Bryant is headed to the foul line.
Marv, there's so many things I love about Kobe's game. One of the things, he's missed his first 5 shots of this period. And what does he do? He goes to the foul line, drives in there and gets fouled. Now he gets to the line. Great free throw shooter. Makes a couple free throws, and then he gets himself right back into it. That's smart play.
A reminder tonight at 9, 8 Central on NBC. It's the all-new Saturday Night Live Mother's Day special. You'll see SNL's biggest stars, funniest characters, and their mom. The all-new Saturday Night Live Mother's Day special tonight at 9, 8 Central on NBC. Incidentally, Rick Allen wanted us to wish a happy Mother's Day to his wife, Mary Kay, who is with their son, RJ, who's graduating University of Oregon Law School today. But Christie now has 13 points. RJ, one of 6 children from Mary Kay and Rick. Fox gets inside, but it will not count. Offensive foul.
Rick Fox has really given himself up offensively in this series to be able to shadow Stojakovic. This time he gets an offensive rebound, lowers his shoulder, and gets the foul. But again, Mark, he's really taking himself out of the offensive flow. So you know what? If I can take Stojakovic out of the attack, we can win this series. You really don't need me to score points, and that's what he's done. That's why they're up 3-0.
Chris Webber now 5 of 17 from the field. Jack putting the move on Bloody Divac. Kings have done a good job against Shaquille here this afternoon.
Well, they pushed him away from the basket. He's catching the ball further out on the floor. You've got a chance to defend him if you can do that.
Stojakovic stripped by Fox. Bryant putting the speed on Christie, and it's foul. And Kobe was looking for a flagrant call.
That's 2 great athletes that are going at each other in the open court. Kobe's so difficult to defend. Doug Christie, and all defensive players, second team, has been so vital to this team. But turnovers, this is when Kobe loves to get out and go. An opportunity for him to show his skill. Gets to the basket. That's a good foul by Christie. Don't give up any layups.
Kobe Bryant very chatty here. Talking it over with Jason Williams. Had some words earlier with Guido Turkoglu, Vlade Divac.
Well, Kobe's gone through a lot this year. He's got off to a great start and then got beat up and in the media a little bit, got beat up physically. Sat out for a while, got his thoughts together, saw how the team was playing, came back, and has been great. I mean, Shaq has been dominant. Kobe has been terrific, both ends of the floor. And maybe that time he had a chance to sit and rest and get his thoughts together. He's really come back strong, and this is the Kobe they need if they're going to go ahead and defend that title.
It's a 2-point Sacramento lead. I think Phil Jackson would be the first to agree the best thing that happened to the Lakers were the separate injuries suffered by Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, particularly in that they... Oh! Chris Webber with the bucket and the foul off the spin.
Well, that is what Sacramento wants Chris Webber to do. That jump shot is there. You can see he can take it anytime he wants. But look at the ball handling skills, the beautiful spin, the body control, off the glass. I think Bill Bradley once wrote a book called A Sense of Where You Are. And that's exactly what Webber had there. Even though he lost sight of the basket, he knew where he was and was able to get that 3-point play.
That was a great title.
Yeah, it really was.
John McPhee, a fellow Princetonian, wrote the book, and that really captures the game of basketball.
Yes.
5 minutes gone by in the third. Here's Horace Grant. Oh, Shaquille O'Neal with the putback. It's a 69-66 Sacramento lead. Getting back to the injury suffered by Shaq and Kobe, and fortunately for both and the Lakers, they were not serious injuries, although both sat out for a while. But it gave each a chance to do it by themselves as Vlade Divac spins his way. Well, that's a move we have not seen in a while.
Little whirling dervish show, take it away and go back the other direction.
And then Doug, when they both finally got together, you felt there was a different sense in terms as Kobe is able to hit. So Kobe now has 26 points. It all seemed to come together in terms of both guys looking for each other, and the Lakers playing at the top of their game, looking to be even stronger than they were a year ago at this time.
Well, you know, I felt going into this year, once it all got together, they would be a better defensive team this year. Fox a better defender than Glenn Rice. Horace Grant a better defender than A.C. Green. You bring back Fisher, you got Kobe and Shaq. They're a better defensive team than they were last year. Just took a while to get it all together.
Jason Williams with the pull-up. And Rick Fox not able to hang on. Well, last time who does not agree with the call.
See, Mark, I also think a lot of people underestimated Kobe and Shaq, first of all, on not only how talented they are, but when it comes down to it, they're both very intelligent men, and they want to win. And right now is winning time, and that's what they're doing.
Christie has a 3-on-1. He went behind the back to set it up. Yes! And it counts! Doug Christie sweeping it behind his back, and then dishing to Weber.
The Kings, always with a little extra there. You see Doug Christie coming down the floor, takes it behind his back, the emotion. This is why they're so tough to play here. 33-8 during the regular season, one of the best home court advantages. But it's also the kind of place where if you're not careful, you can get caught up in this and try to make that extra fancy play, and then it works against you.
Well, certainly one of the loudest crowds in the NBA, a collegiate atmosphere, pumped up right from the opening tip. And the Sacramento Kings trying to stay alive in this best of 7, have a 6-point lead. Rick Fox cutting into that lead, 74-70.
Mark, you get a sense the Lakers are just trying to keep it close and then get into that fourth quarter and try to put the hammer down.
That certainly has been the formula. Divac replaced by Scott Pollard for these final minutes of the third. Sacramento Kings have other ideas on that theory as Stojakovic makes it 8 of 11. He has 17 points, and the Kings are back up by 6.
I tell you, it's great as a coach. Those plays look real good when that ball goes in the basket.
O'Neal, Grant, and the foul is called. Grant surrounded by Pollard. Christie. It's on Christie. That's his 4th.
Stojakovic, one of the most improved players in the NBA, second in the balloting behind the great Tracy McGrady down in Orlando. But he just creates such great space. Good footwork there as he made that pivot. He got away from Rick Fox. And, you look at him, he's deceptively tall. I think he's over 6'8", so he's a bigger guy than what you think he is. So when he gets that close, he can just shoot right over the top of the defender.
Horace Grant, a 78% free throw shooter. Mentioned earlier what a good job he did against Chris Webber back in Game 2. Phil Jackson saying that when Horace was not on the floor, it was noticeable that we missed him.
Very underrated defender. And, you know, in the Lakers scheme of things, that power forward position is so important defensively because of all the great power forwards in the Western Conference. And Horace every night has to defend against one of the top guys in the NBA.
Offense through Weber, who turns and shoots. (76-72), Sacramento just under 4 remaining in the third. Fisher has been on fire from downtown. Not that time. For the offensive foul.
Scott Pollard is going to get his points off the offensive boards, hustle plays. If you ask him to be a primary player, that's really not going to happen. Shaq steps over, take the charge, and the Lakers hanging around. Kings playing great. Lakers within 4.
Well, you look at Peja Stojakovic, you look at the numbers, and they look impressive, but he's had to work very hard against Rick Fox. And this today, Game 4, his first breakout potential ball game against the Lakers.
Marv, everything is contested. You can see Fox is going to try to keep the ball out of his hands at every possession, and we've seen the same thing today. Look at this here as Rick Fox chases him, runs the screen one time, will not let him catch it. Chases him once again and forces Weber into a tough shot. So today he's 8 of 12. But in the series, only 35%. You have to have guys on your team who are willing to give themselves up for the good of your team. And that's what Rick Fox has done. Rick Fox has only taken 2 shots the entire first half, but he has shadowed Stojakovic, who today has found a way to break loose. Got some early layups, which really helped him out today.
Peja coming off a stellar regular season. All over Shaquille O'Neal, and picks up number 4.
See, what the Lakers are doing is they're diving Shaq into the lane, and the entry pass is coming from so deep out on the floor. They have got to contest that pass. That time Horace Grant had a free look into the post. Shaq caught the ball, and they had to take that foul. So, Marv, you've got to pressure the passers to help the big men.
O'Neal is now 3 of 5 at the line.
Now look where Shaq is. He dives right into the post, catches the ball. There's nothing you can do. You got to foul him. You've got to pressure that ball on the perimeter and make that a tough pass.
Well, Shaq has been missing free throws in the playoffs. After it was felt that he had come a long way, he certainly did after the All-Star break, but he's fallen back at the foul line. Weber, wild shot, but Pollard is there.
Now that's Scott Pollard. That's how he scores. You get all the defensive help on Weber, and Pollard goes right to that offensive board. He's a terrific offensive rebounder.
Scott Pollard in his 3rd year with Sacramento after season with Detroit. First-round draft pick of yours with the Detroit Pistons. Here's Jackson. But the Lakers able to get back. Jackson for 3. Lakers down by 6 with 2.5 remaining on the 3rd. Now single coverage. And a foul is called. Shaq went right at Scott Pollard. And that's 5 on Scott.
The energy of Scott Pollard does not quit on the play. Weber takes a tough shot, and who is there to get the rebound? Knocks it loose, dunks the basketball. And then on the other end, he has got his hands full with Shaquille. It's almost like when Shaquille comes in the game, or when Pollard comes in the game, he knows that Shaquille is going to go right at him. Shaq takes it personally if he doesn't get double teamed. He said, you know what, when you don't double team me, you're showing me a lot of disrespect, and I will make you pay, as he did in the Staples Center, 87 points in the 2 games.
Shaq on the follow. And it's tied up. What a play by Weber. Reaching in to get the block.
Well, Mark, when Shaq is shooting free throws, he's not shooting them well. You cannot fall asleep and let him get his own rebound. Look, nobody checks him out. Look at this. Nobody blocks out at all. He runs right down the lane and gets his free throw missed back. You've got to understand, you got to block out the shooter. These are little plays that get you beat.
He's now 4 of 8 at the foul line. Kobe very quiet in this 3rd quarter, just 1 for 7 from the field. And the Kings control. They lead by 5 as we approach 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Christie digging. Oh, beautiful move by Doug Christie is shaken up.
Christie, this is by far his best game of the series.
15 for Christie. There's Bryant. And he was fouled. Foul called on Weber. That's 4 on Weber.
You recognize the defense. You said, I got a bigger guy on me. 2 big guys trying to chase me on the switch. You pull the ball back, and then you use your quickness. He got hit in the eye. But he was able to recover and get back. But that's the recognition of who's guarding me and how can I get the best shot against them.
Kobe Bryant 9 for 9 from the line. Robert Horry checking back in for Shaquille O'Neal. Sits down with 18 points. 8 rebounds, 4 personal fouls. So Shaq held in check at least to this point, as was the case in Game 3 on Friday after the explosions of 44 and 43 for Shaquille O'Neal, the first consecutive 40-point, 20-rebound playoff games in the same series in NBA history.
Well, who's going to get the best of this last 2 minutes? So you've got Shaq sitting and you've got Weber sitting. Who can take the advantage?
Offensive foul. Jack Neese makes the call on Lonnie Divac, so 4 now on Divac. And the Kings are looking at 4 apiece on Divac, Weber, Christie. Pollard has 5.
That's the same foul they called on Shaq earlier, just backing into the post, called that dislodging and getting an advantage.
clock. So they have readjusted.
Now, to me, if I'm Sacramento, I cannot allow Kobe Bryant in the last minute 40 to be shooting the basketball. If it's a double team, I've got to get the ball out of his hands. Shaq is sitting. Make one of those other guys score.
Kobe still just 1 for 7 here in the third. Fox for 3. Rebounded. No, Lawrence Vanderbilt, who just checked in, had it knocked out of his hands. Academy going deeper into his bench because of the foul trouble. Vanderbilt now defending on Grant. Grant for 3.
You can't fall asleep on him. He's one of the best scorers in the NBA. You've got to make somebody else shoot the ball at this stretch.
Kobe has 31. Just under 1 minute remaining in the third. Stojakovic will head to the line.
Well, you got to crowd him because he's shooting it well. No Shaquille O'Neal in there to block shots. So you drive it in there and get to the foul line. But Christie leaves to go give help, and Ori at the last moment leaves Kobe, who buries it. You've got to play Kobe now like Fox is playing Stojakovic the entire game. Stick to him chest to chest and make those other 4 guys do something.
Foul was called on Ori Stojakovic at the line for the first time. A superb free throw shooter at 86%. The Kings now lead 81-78. And as you can see, the Lakers spending a lot of time at the line here in the third quarter. And of defense from this crowd as Kobe is able to split his way through. Bryant on the rebound, and he's hit again, so he's headed back to the line. Foul on Stojakovic.
You know, Kobe's got one thing on his mind. You know, Shaq is sitting. They need me. Splits the double team, gets inside. No block out. There's 4 guys, and Kobe just wants it a little bit more. So he hits a 3. Now he gets to the line for the couple free throws. Now they're buying minutes with Shaq on the bench. He's resting to come back and finish strong, and Kobe's keeping him right in the game. This is exactly what Phil wants.
And Doug, how about 13 rebounds for Kobe Bryant, 9 on the offensive glass.
Well, you know what? When we saw him today, Mark, early, he had that look on his face like, you know, he had just been home, checking on his wife. He was back. He has worked himself into this game. It looked like to start, maybe he might not have one of those games we've seen him have before, but he has worked himself into a terrific game.
Kind of shot himself into it
yes, he did.
At the start with the offense funneled away from Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe came out firing. Did not have the touch here in the third quarter, but he's done it at the foul line. Jackson to Vanderbilt. Lawrence Vanderbilt with his first field goal. The Kings 84, the Lakers 80, as we come up on 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
They're going to come get some help.
Kobe putting moves on Christie, gives it up. Here's Fox for 3. Time running down. So that's the end of the third quarter. Despite the fact that Kobe Bryant did not shoot well in the third, he has scored 13 of his 33 in the third because of the free throws. And also had 8 rebounds in the third. It's a 4-point Kings lead as we head to the fourth. Welcome back to Sacramento, California. We're in the capital city here at Arco. Kobe Bryant with a 13-point third quarter, although he shot only 2 for 9 in the quarter.
Well, the big thing, he got to the foul line, and he's had some big quarters in the playoffs. Portland in game 1, he had the big fourth quarter as they pulled away. Sacramento in game 1, the 17-point third quarter. Again, in game 2, a 13-point third quarter. Sacramento the other night in game 3 hit 7 straight shots. And look at this right here. It's almost like, all right, this is Kobe's quarter. This This is Shaq. This is Kobe. Now we're in the fourth. Is it Shaq's time once again to try to get the sweep and try to end this series? The Kings are going to have to play the best quarter that they've played all year long, I think, to hang on and win this game right now, because you know the Lakers are going to try to finish this off.
All right, let's check in with Jim.
Well, Doug, that's exactly what Shaquille O'Neal just gathered his guys together after Phil Jackson broke the huddle. He said, guys, we can play one more quarter and 5 more quarters. Let's play one and be done with this, Mark.
All right, as we discussed yesterday with Dallas and San Antonio going at each other and the possibility of a Spurs sweep, it has come down to this fourth quarter for the Sacramento Kings as to whether they will be headed home following today's contest.
I think the first possession will be real indicative here what the Lakers are going to want to do. Let's see if they get it into Shaq against Funderburk. He cannot guard him in there.
Lawrence Funderburk playing only his second game of this series. He's in there because of foul trouble suffered by the Kings. Brian Shaw and a loose ball foul. On Funderburk.
The shot goes up, and Funderburk is trying his best to hold Shaq out. Just walks right through him. The guy's got him about 100-something pounds. What a load. And this is where Shaq and what he brings starts taking its toll on his opponent.
And Kobe able to drill it. So Kobe Bryant now has 35. That's one shy of his playoff career high, which was established Friday night. A 36-point game at 26 in the second half. Weber fouled by Ori. Kobe with 13 rebounds. That is a career playoff high.
When you struggle to score, though, what Kobe's able to do is get to that foul line. This is a great jump shot over Weber, who did a nice job to get his hand out there. But Kobe, 12 of 12 from the foul line today. That's how you throw up a big game, is when you can get to that line and shoot him so well.
Weber now being defended by Ori. Shot clock is at 5. They double up.
Standing around, you've got to move the ball. Weber walks with the basketball, but this is where Sacramento, Mark, starts to get in trouble. And remember, you and I were in here doing a game, fourth quarter, where the Lakers made them miss 14 shots in a row, remember, to start the quarter, and took the game away from them and won in here, which was sort of a precursor for what this series was going to be about.
Well, the Lakers won twice here in Sacramento, once in overtime. Chris Webber sidelined by injury. O'Neal, it counts, and the foul. So Shaq getting the continuation, and the game is tied.
When he catches the ball that deep, you can't wait. Now watch what happens. He looks around, he takes a dribble, then the double team tries to come down and help. There's no way they can get to him that late. You got to make him pass the basketball.
A minute and a half gone by in this fourth quarter.
Oh, look at that smirk. What an athlete there.
Oh, I was just trying to see the difference. You look the same.
The problem with that is, though, you know, Bill Walton never lets me live that down. So I am going to hear about this now that you know Bill's watching.
I'm so surprised.
You know he's watching.
So with 10:38 remaining in this fourth quarter, the game is tied at 84, and Shaquille O'Neal will head to the line looking to complete a three-point play. To be pointed out also back in 1977, Moses Malone set an NBA record of 15 offensive rebounds in a single game. Kobe has 9 on the offensive glass. That was called on Bobby Jackson, his third.
Now this is twice we've already seen where Shaq misses a free throw, and look, nobody blocks him out, and who ends up getting it back? Shaquille O'Neal. That's twice now. So if you're going to foul him and put him on the line, you better rebound the basketball. And this is what we could see a lot of here. If Shaq starts struggling from the line, he could be given a lot of opportunities here, because very rarely has the game been close enough in the fourth quarter where fouls have even mattered.
Shaq now 5 for 10 for the line. The Kings with their 13th foul, and it looks like Shaquille has the stroke back. 22 points for O'Neal, along with 10 rebounds, 2 blocked shots. And the Lakers have taken an 86-84 lead. Weber with a very dangerous pass going behind the back, and it's fortunate it was deflected out of bounds by the Lakers.
That's one of those high-risk, no-reward pass, because even if Christie would have caught it, there would have been nothing he could do with it.
Funderburk off the screen.
I don't know about that shot. Funderburk stepping out. This is where you got to question Sacramento's ability in the half court that the game is slowed down to be able to execute and play against this Laker defense.
They double on O'Neal. Horry for three. And how many times have we seen Robert Horry hit clutch three-pointers down the stretch this season for the Lakers?
Well, timely shooting. Robert Horry does not shoot a high percentage, but he knows the right time to make that big shot.
Weber battling the double. The save ends up in the hands of Christie. And apparently the officials felt the clock should have been reset.
Now here's Robert Horry, and the important thing when you play in this offense is you space the floor. Look where Weber is. He steps out behind that three-point line. When you've got Shaquille O'Neal in the middle, you can go to, or you've got the penetration of Kobe Bryant. Spacing is vital to their attack.
Lakers with a 9-0 run here at the start of the fourth quarter, and have taken a 5-point lead. Jackson. Here's Turkoglu. He's been on fire. 5 for 6 from the field. He has 12 points. The Lakers 89. The Kings 86. Vlade Divac and Peja Stojakovic getting set to make their return. Shaquille able to recover. The ball was knocked away from Fox. And Shaq has provided a 5-point lead for the Lakers.
Has a lucky bounce, but the boy said luck favors the prepared man, Marv.
Let me write that down. That's very good. I can see that up on the chalkboard in the Wizard locker room.
It doesn't hurt we have some talent with that luck, right?
Yes. 8.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. 91-86. Lakers trying to make it a 4-game sweep of the Sacramento Kings. And O'Neal is fouled. The last time the Lakers swept a best-of-7 was 1989. They swept both Phoenix and Seattle, did it to the Suns in the Western Conference Finals, and then they were swept by Detroit in the NBA Finals. That was an injury-plagued Laker team.
Remember, the Lakers actually were 11-0, I think, in that playoffs. They had not lost. Byron Scott tears a hamstring right before the finals, and then in Game 1, Magic hurt his hamstring, and the Pistons went on and won their first championship before they had the back-to-back with the Bad Boys.
Well, Shaq now 7 of 12 at the line. Hey, next Sunday during halftime of our late NBA game right here on NBC, we'll bring you exclusive coverage of the NBA Draft Lottery. Who will get the top pick in this year's draft? The Bulls, the Wizards.
There you go.
The Warriors are the front runners. 13 teams have a shot. It's the NBA Draft Lottery next Sunday on NBC.
And I know, Marv, you cannot be partial, but you're gonna cheer for that ball bouncing for us. I know that.
Oh, no, there's no question.
There you go.
Because I'm waiting for those Wizard hats and T-shirts.
They're in the mail.
Foul on Bryant, his second. 92-86. The Lakers have taken over here at the start of the fourth quarter. You mentioned earlier that perhaps the Lakers were kind of just hanging around waiting for the push in the fourth quarter, which has been a Phil Jackson philosophy, and they look to be in pretty good shape.
Well, again, the game is now slowed down. Look where it is. It's in the half court. What kind of shots will Sacramento get?
And a block is called on Fox. That's his fourth.
Rick Allen's biggest concern going into this series was not his defense, it was his offense. In moments like this.
13 foul on the Lakers. Stojakovic is fouled, and that's foul on Fox.
Stojakovic is working so hard. Rick Fox shadowing with every move, forces him to put it on the floor. Here comes Shaq to give help, and then Fox from behind gets a piece of the arm.
Peja 2 for 2 from the line. Petar Stojakovic played in Greece for 4 years before coming to Sacramento. 2 years ago, spoke fluent English when arriving here in Sacramento. Ivo Kirkulu out of Turkey has hired a tutor to work with him daily. Vlade Divac did not speak any English when he arrived as a 21-year-old rookie with the Los Angeles Lakers. Shot clock down to 7. Kobe Bryant.
That's unfair. That was so tough. You see a playoff career high for Kobe, but what a difficult shot.
Lakers up by 6. Weber kept alive by Divac. Tries a ball fake and draws the foul. And Shaq has just collected his 5th.
Kobe Bryant lost the baseline. The little bump on the screen. Weber, little handout. Christie chasing him, and he shoots a little line drive jumper. And then Vlade does the smart thing. Drive it in there, jump in Shaq's chest. Maybe you'll get the foul. He did. Shaq's in foul trouble. And we'll have to keep our eye right now on what Sacramento can do. Shaq sits. It's 7:22. Divac makes his free throw. It's a 4-point game. Can they put the pressure on defensively? And they better guard Kobe.
Vlade Divac hits on both. So it is down to a 4-point Laker lead. Kobe Bryant once again went with the line drive shot. He drilled it a moment ago. Phil Jackson will bring on Ron Harper in a moment. Ron has played just 5 minutes in this series. That was back in game 2. Stojakovic rebounded by Divac. Divac is blocked and deflected out of bounds by the Lakers. And here comes Ron Harper, who's made it back from the arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. Missed the final 34 games of the season. Returned in LA in game 2, receiving a standing ovation. Played 5 minutes. That's been it.
Well, he's in there for one reason right now. Guard Stojakovic. With Fox having foul trouble, he's going to shadow him like Fox did.
Divac.
Oh. Point blank miss there. Vlade looking around and go Shaq in there. Go strong with that.
So Harper is up front, as you mentioned, matched at both ends with Stojakovic. Phil Jackson giving a different look to Stojakovic with Fox sitting down with the 5. And a loose ball foul is called. It's on Horace Grant. That's his 3rd.
If this becomes a free throw shooting contest, give the edge to Sacramento, because you have to factor in that Shaq has not shot the free throws well. And Sacramento, a very, very good free throw shooting team. Vlade trying to cut this to 2.
So the Lakers now over the foul limit. Well, next Saturday, 6:30 Eastern Time, the NBA playoffs continue here on NBC, and pending the outcome of games being played this weekend. Depends what happens with Sacramento and the Lakers. Also, the schedule of NBA playoff games not yet determined. We do know that we'll kick it all off with a game on Saturday at 6:30, directly following the Preakness. And a reminder that the playoff action continues on TNT tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, Game 5 between the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs. Will Dallas be able to react the way they did yesterday at home? 94-92, Lakers with a 2-point lead as we come up on 6 minutes remaining on the 4th. Shot clock at 5. Horry. How about Robert Horry hit the 3 from the corner earlier in this 4th, and a runner now by Horry.
That's a Carl Braun shot you were talking about yesterday when you aged yourself.
On film, careful study of New York Knicks basketball in the 50s. Stojakovic drawing the double. And it will be Laker ball. Stojakovic losing it out of bounds.
A timely shooter. Robert Horry, the little running one-footer. Shaq resting. They still lead by 4. Sacramento turns it over. It'll be Laker basketball. Well, this is why Phil Jackson loves and respects Ron Harper. He's been on the bench, has not played only 5 games, 5 minutes the whole series. He's in there for one reason. Fox is in foul trouble to try to slow down Stojakovic. Does a nice job defensively. Horace Grant comes over, traps him. They force the turnover. So this is how you earn your money if you're Ron Harper. Moments like this, you've been injured, you've got yourself ready now. It might only be 5 minutes, but it could be 5 minutes that helps get you into another series. That's why Phil loves him so much.
Ron, a member of 3 championship teams with the Chicago Bulls, added another ring last season with the Lakers. 36 years old in his 15th NBA season. Kobe Bryant slashing his way through.
You got to trap him. You got to force him. You came right off that screen, turned the corner, and laid it in the basket.
39 for Kobe. That's a new career playoff high. The Laker lead is back to 6.
Oh, Weber got away with a walk there, changed the pivot foot.
Good setup from Christie, and Stojakovic will shoot 2.
All right, Marv, now, Shaq is not on the floor, so who do you think is going to score? Kobe, all right, so he gets a screen. Where's the big man? Nobody shows up. Divac gets a hand up. He drives in like they ushered him right to the basket for a layup. I know it might sound a little frustrated, but, I mean, if you're Sacramento, you're fighting to stay in this game. You got to make this guy pass the ball. He's got a career high right now. And the most dominant player in the league is sitting over there on the bench right now.
Doug's so excited he's losing his voice.
I am. Look at Shaq. He's watching, and I just don't understand what Sacramento's trying to do here.
It's a 98-94 lead for the Lakers as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. I'm going to save that voice for next season.
Players will probably wish I have none.
Was tempted to shoot. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Kobe. It counts, and the foul. Kobe Bryant fouled by Doug Christie.
The interesting shot there to me was the shot on the bench. The smiles on the face of the teammates as Kobe makes that shot. It's a chance for a 3-point play, but early in the year, I'm not so sure we should have seen those smiles or would have seen those smiles. They now are loving the way Kobe is playing.
We have seen some amazing explosions by young players in the playoffs. Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant with a 42-point effort with time remaining. We have 4:40 to go in this 4th quarter. The Lakers seeking to close it out against the Kings. Shot clock at 5. Here's Weber.
Great move by Weber. Looked like that clock was going to get against him. I thought we were going to see a jump shot in the making. Weber understanding there was enough time to get into the basket again. No Shaq, no shot blocker. Go to the basket.
The Laker lead is 5. Weber has 21, but he's only 8 of 25 from the field. Shaw with the step to the left hand. A beautiful move by Brian Shaw, and that was his first field goal.
That's why Phil loves veteran players. He knows they've been here before. Shaw's won a championship. He can trust them in these moments.
Divac is fouled by Horry.
See if they call a flagrant foul here. I think they're going to call a flagrant, and if they do, it's because Vlade sold that. That was not that hard a foul. Watch now as Vlade goes in, Horry goes up, and then Vlade falls at the end there. Let's see if he's able to bait the officials into a flagrant. I don't think it's going to occur, but there was some discussion there about whether or not it was, Marv.
I see a couple of the officials shaking their heads no as they look at each other. But Vlade almost pulled it off. And now at the line, he's 6 for 6 from the line. He's only a 69% free throw shooter during the regular season. Here's Rick Fox returning along with Shaquille O'Neal. So Ron Harper did what was expected. He was on the floor for defensive purposes. They gave a different look at Pedro Stojakovic.
And now Fox comes back in. He's had a chance to rest a little bit.
103-98 Lakers. Just under 4 remaining in this 4th quarter. Sacramento Kings trying to extend the season. They won 55 of 27 in the regular campaign. 4th best record in the league. Number 3 seed in the West. Opening round, they beat the Suns 3 games to 1. Here's Shaw for 3. Brian Shaw with a field goal a moment ago off a drive, and now hits a 3, and the Lakers lead by 8.
The trust to throw that ball. Turkoglu tries to get the foul. Doesn't, but knocks in the 3. But the trust of Kobe Bryant out of that double team to find Shaw. Back-to-back 3s. Kings trail by 5.
Turkoglu now 15 points, 6 of 7 from the field. Christie got a piece of it, and a foul against the Lakers. Down to 3:09 remaining in this 4th quarter. Lakers up by 5 points. Lakers now over the foul limit.
The double team on Kobe, the cross-court pass, Shaw buries it. And then Turkoglu watches, he's going to try to jump into Shaw here to draw the foul. Doesn't get the foul, but he does get the 3.
And Shaquille O'Neal is called on that foul. That is number 6.
Now, boy, Shaq has had a tough day with the fouls today. Has not been able to get in any kind of rhythm, especially here in the 4th period.
Played only 38 minutes because of the foul trouble. Finishes with 25 points, 10 rebounds. Robert Horry checks back in. And Vlade Divac's back at the line. He's 8 for 8 at the line.
Can Dallas, can Sacramento do what Dallas did yesterday? It's what Phil talked about before. Able to win the game. It's not like San Antonio lost yesterday, that Dallas made the big plays to win. And here is Shaq right there. You see him. They actually outscored the Kings 9-8 with him on the bench. Let's see if they can do it once again with him sitting. We're going to have to win this game without him.
Doug Phil Jackson also telling us he would not mind a close game down the stretch because the Lakers have yet to be pressured in the playoffs. Well, here it is.
Here it is.
Shot clock is down to 5. The rejection by Divac, but Grant able to recover.
Championship experience. Horace Grant has 3 rings with Chicago. He's been here before.
5-point lead for the Lakers. Desperation time for the Kings with 2.5 remaining in the 4th. Turkoglu on fire. 17 on 7 of 8. It's down to a 3-point Laker lead.
Defense by Christie. Really challenged that shot.
Turkoglu trying to take it to the rim, and he took a bump. Now to put Turkoglu.
We are seeing a young player really grow up here today. Hedo Turkoglu putting it on the floor, getting to the baseline, fading, hitting the jump shot, driving, getting to the foul line. He's got a chance to cut this game to 1 when we come back.
Jim Gray back in Sacramento to take a look at the Laker bench. Gary Vitti and Dr. Lombardo are having trouble stopping the bleeding on the right hand, on the 3rd finger, the ring finger of Horace Grant. Somehow got cut in between his fingers. It is bleeding extensively, and they have spent the entire time out trying to stop it. Of course, with Shaquille O'Neal out of the game, Phil Jackson imploring the trainer and the doctor to do everything they can. Horace Grant will try to continue. However, the official has been over here because of the HIV rule with no blood being able to be exposed out on the court or on the uniform. So the Lakers will work feverishly here to try and get Horace Grant back into the game. Mark?
All right, Jim. Yes, Shaq fouled out just a moment ago. A minute 57 remaining in this 4th quarter. The Lakers clinging to a 3-point lead.
Well, the Lakers obviously want to save their timeouts, but if they're having trouble getting it stopped, you can shoot the 2 free throws, and then Phil can take another timeout to give the doctors a chance to work on it once again. Looks like Horace is okay now, and he's back on the floor. But the free throw shooting, Marv, I talked about it a while ago. If Sacramento, if it becomes a free throw shooting contest, they have the advantage. They're 16 for 16 in the second half and 25 for 27 for the game. So the edge goes there if it comes down to the foul line. See Horace Grant there, he hits his hand on the backboard as he laid that ball in the basket on the second shot. Vlade blocked the first one. He got it back. The shot clock was winding down. The doctors did a nice job being able to get that stop. Question is if he has to shoot the ball. I mean, can he shoot with his hand taped like that? That's his right hand. That's his shooting hand.
Turgolo on the line for the first time, a 78% free throw shooter. You see the right hand of Horace Grant. It's a 2-point game. Lakers have a full timeout and a 20 remaining. Sacramento 2 out of 20. It's down to 1. Shaquille O'Neal has fouled out. The offense has been Kobe Bryant, who has a new playoff career high with 42 points. And Kobe in a battle with Christie, and a foul is called. So hold on Christie. That's number 5 on Doug Christie.
Well, that's the one guy you don't want to foul if you're Sacramento. Kobe has shot lights out today at that foul line. It stops the game. It allows them to shoot a couple free throws. More importantly, get your defense set.
Bryant 13 of 13 at the line, an 85% free throw shooter. So Kobe with his first miss of the day from the line. Now both teams are over the foul limit. The Lakers 109, the Kings 107.
The man for Sacramento has been Hedo Turkoglu. Will they go back to him once again?
Well, he checks it to the rim. He thought he was fouled. Hedo getting the step, not able to convert.
Well, he showed some terrific athletic ability this afternoon.
A minute 25 to go in the fourth. Kobe with the spin and the bucket. Kobe Bryant with 45, and the Lakers lead by 4. 1:15 remaining in the fourth. Turgolo had it knocked away. Christie on the recovery. And the Kings out of control on that sequence.
Chris Webber didn't even touch the ball.
Couple of guys very anxious to make something happen, and they coughed it up. So the Lakers in possession. Should be a no rush, but the foul is given by Webber.
Well, Turkoglu drives the ball strong to the basket. The great block by Robert Horry as he came over to give help and got a piece of the ball. And then Kobe Bryant, where is the help? He spins, splits the double team. Stojakovic does not get there in time. He lays the ball in the basket. Question I have here, Mark, why take that foul? 49-something seconds to go. Still too much time to put a team on the line, even though Horry misses the free throw. 2 free throws put you down by 6. You don't want to give team easy points right now. Still a lot of clock left in this game.
Horry at the line for the first time, a 71% foul shooter during the regular season. That was number 5 on Chris Webber. So the Lakers lead by 5, and Rick Adelman takes a timeout. We'll be back to Arco in Sacramento in a moment. Although he has played with family concerns on his mind, Kobe Bryant leaving the team following the game on Friday night, but coming back to Sacramento to be with his wife for what he termed a private matter. It has been a sensational performance for Kobe Bryant. In particular with Shaquille O'Neal having fouled out. Kobe has come through with a career playoff high of 45 points, along with 16 rebounds, also a career playoff high. And now you have to wonder, although there's still time remaining with 49 and 7/10 seconds to go, the Lakers up by 5. Will this be the final appearance of Chris Webber in the uniform of the Sacramento Kings?
Well, if it is, I know this is not the way he wanted to go down. Being swept by the Lakers, there's still plenty of time. Can they find a way to win this game?
Webber's pass picked off by Harper. And that, not the way that Chris Webber will want to be remembered here. In Sacramento, Turkoglu gives the foul. Both teams over the limit. And the Lakers back to the line.
Well, what it's come down to is with Shaq in foul trouble, Kobe has taken over the game, and Chris Webber has really struggled in this fourth quarter. You've got to give the Laker defense a lot of credit. They did not let him get close to the basket. He did not get to the foul line. They kept the ball out of his hands. They trapped him. He turned the ball over. The guys that really scored were Turkoglu and Stojakovic. So Webber in the fourth quarter, they were not able to go through him. 8 for 25 today. Tough day for Chris Webber.
Kobe Bryant with 46 points. Now 15 of 17 at the line. And the Kings take a timeout with 35 seconds left in the fourth and perhaps in their season. Doug, you can add the name Kobe Bryant to a series of electrifying performances in this playoff run. Allen Iverson had a 54-point game. Vince Carter, 50 the other night. And Kobe with 46 points to lead the Lakers here today.
Well, these are all guards. But, you know, Marv, think about this. These guys are growing up now in the most pressure situations. They've gone to bad teams other than Kobe. They're playing now in the playoffs. Carter, a big game 5 on the road in New York, gets his team to the next round. Iverson, a big 3 today, evens that series. Kobe with Shaq down today. A big game. Looks like they're going to close it out. These young guys are growing up in the playoffs. It's fun to watch.
The Kings have it 8 of 16 from three-point range. They're trailing by 6. Stojakovic is fouled by Fox. Not a good foul.
Well, that's not a good foul because it's going to be 3 free throws. Now, all of a sudden, if he makes them all, it's a one-possession game. There's still about 3.6-second differential. So if Sacramento chooses not to foul, you might get it back and have a chance for a 3. So that's exactly what you don't want to have happen. You challenge the shot, and if it goes in, you live with it. Right there, he hits him on the arm. Fox has done such a great job. It's hard to find fault with him. He does foul out, but you don't want to commit that foul right there.
Rick Fox played 41 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds. And now Peja Stojakovic is 7 of 7 at the line. So 3 free throws for Stojakovic with 27 seconds to go.
And Marvin, if he makes this, it's a one-possession game. Now, will Rick Adelman foul? There's a 3.6-second differential. If he chooses not to, you'll get the rebound. You probably have about 2.5 seconds maybe to get a shot, get a 3 to tie. We'll see what Rick does here on this play.
Lakers have 1 timeout remaining. Sacramento has a 20 left. It's a 3-point game, and they go for the foul. So Turkoglu will put Horry at the line. And Robert Horry, a 71% free throw shooter.
Well, if you're the Lakers, you think we need at least one of these. It makes it a 2-possession game. And what Rick Adelman has chose to do is, I'm going to extend this game. I'm going to put the pressure on the Lakers to continue to make free throws. We're going to extend this game out and see if we can turn this into a foul shooting contest.
Horry 1 for 2 in today's game. Receiving the treatment from the crowd here at Arco. And during the course of his career, he has been a top-flight clutch player.
Remember when he was playing for Houston when they won the championship, he hit some big threes. A lot of comparisons to Scottie Pippen early in his career when he was playing out there with Houston.
The way he handles the ball, the way he plays,
shoots the ball.
Defense. 4-point Laker lead. So Robert Horry comes through at the line, extends back to a 5-point advantage. And the Kings need a quick shot here. Stojakovic from 3-point range. He was trying to draw the foul again. Laker ball with 17 and 8/10 seconds to go.
You know, it's been an unbelievable year for the Sacramento Kings. team, you know, Mark, when you think about how well they've played, this home court advantage, they finally get out of the first round. The problem is their old nemesis, the Los Angeles Lakers, is who they were looking at in the second round. When we talked to Chris Webber before the game, he felt like the only team that they might not be able to beat in the West was the Lakers. But you know what? They lost a couple tough games late in the season that lost the home court. They really sort of swung the momentum for the Lakers at the end of the season. So you have to wonder what's going through Chris Webber's mind. This has been a great 3 years for him here. He's been able to really rebuild his career. He came in here from Washington, a lot of questions. He's played great. He's been an all-star, an MVP candidate. And what must he be thinking right now? Is he going to walk off the floor for the last time? If so, he's had 3 great years. These fans have been great to him, and this team has won.
Kobe Bryant now 48 points. Coming up on 10 seconds remaining as the season winds down for the Sacramento Kings. Here's Turkoglu. 117-113. And Fisher fouled by Stojakovic with a second and a half remaining. And the Kings with 55 wins. That's the most by a Kings team since back in 82-83. Kansas City Kings went 45-37. 55 wins ties the franchise high, which equals the 63-64 Cincinnati Royals. But a terribly disappointing finish here in the playoffs. Have to get by the first round and knock off Phoenix, and then they are swept here by the Lakers.
Well, you know, I see the Maloof brothers here, the owners, sitting right here beside me to courtside, and you have to think they've worked so hard with Jeff Petrie to put this team together, and how could all change if Chris Webber does leave? This will not be the same team, and they'll have a lot of work ahead of them, so we'll have to see what happens in the offseason.
And that will wrap it. So the Kings lose only 11 games at home all season, but 4 of the 11 at the hands of the Los Angeles Lakers, who now make it 15 straight wins. 8 at the end of the regular season, and they are now 7 for 7 in the playoffs. And now the Lakers will have a lot of time to rest as they await the winner between San Antonio and Dallas to go in the Western Conference Final Series. And we may be seeing the last of Chris Webber in the uniform of the Sacramento Kings.